Hello everybody and welcome to the month of July. Happy new month to you all. Hope you all went to church. Alright, today I'll be talking to you all on a movie titled The Seed. My name is Rich Daniel. Alright, let's dive in straight into it. The Seed is an Rccg Restoration House, Hamilton and Pogam TV collaboration work. Alright, the casting. Funke Adewoye played Victor's mom. Elvon Jarrett was in the film. Stephen Ogunkunle played Victor. Ayola played Ray. And Shalom Labi. Temitope Jonathan played the pastor's wife. And Victor's dad played by Adewokpe Odweyungbo. Sorry if I'm not getting the pronunciations of those names right. Alright, straight up to the crew members. It was written by Olayinka Dada. The DOP on the set was Evangelist Sheun Jonathan. Editor was Sheyi Fadiji. And the executive producer was Olayinka Dada. And the director was Sheun Jonathan. Alright, straight up to the storyline. It tells the story of a particular parents that were living in Nigeria, played by Funke Adewoye and Adefowope. Sorry if I'm not getting the pronunciation right. They had children who they sent abroad to study, and these children became wayward. Victor was influenced by a character named Ray, played by Ayola Ogumeka. He was influenced by that character in the sense that he was playing drums in the church, and later Ray came and dragged him out of the church and made him to begin to play in other churches on concerts for money, and he introduced him to drugs and other negative habits, negative influences. At the end of the day, Elvon Jarrett's character was their counselor, was the children's counselor in abroad. But the parents didn't even help matters. They were supporting their children not to always attend church. They could, they were there for their studies, so they should not always spend their time in church. And then they supported their children in that line. Meanwhile, they had told Elvon Jarrett's character to oversee the children abroad. So while Elvon Jarrett was trying to bring the children together to always attend church programs or cautioning the children, the parents were on the other hand telling the children, or the father especially was on the other hand telling the son, okay, you were sent there for studies, you must not always attend church activities. They did not know that their children were had already gone wild into the world. At the end of the day, everything became bad. Victor was a drug addict. His sister was kidnapped and raped. A lot of negative things happened, and at the end of the day, they were all saved by thank God for God's tiny intervention. They were all saved, and they came back to God. And at the end of the day, I think a sermon was given at the end of the day. Beautiful storyline, great message for our youths and teenagers. I think it's a brilliant one. All right, straight up to the good and the not good. Yeah, straight up to the good and the bad. Sound was okay, and the camera clarity and the costuming of the movie was appropriate. Acting by the detective, the man who played the detective, Elvon Jarrett, he's a veteran, so he played his role perfectly. Every other person acted well, but there were some little flaws in the acting of some of the characters, but they tried their best. They tried their best. The theme songs were beautiful, and Ray is a good actor. The guy who played Ray, who was Ayola Ogumeka, is a good actor. He soaked himself. He interpreted that role of a bad boy well. On the other hand, in the storyline, the story was a kind of divided into different areas. It was divided somehow. So the guy who played Ray interpreted his role well, not excellently, but he did well. He's a good actor. All right, straight up to the other things, the things I did not really find funny in the movie. All right, Victor's parents had zero chemistry, played by Funke. So Victor's parents had zero chemistry. They didn't really connect as husband and wife. You could not feel them as husband and wife on screen. They did not really connect, and I could also fault their acting, especially for Funke Adewoye. I don't think she brought in her best. I mean, these are people that have just lost their daughter, or their daughter have been kidnapped. I mean, there's a way they should act. I mean, your daughter has been kidnapped. She didn't really soak herself into the character of a mother who her daughter had been kidnapped. Okay, you've been told on the phone your daughter had been kidnapped, and then you're still putting on your hair tie. You're not even, I mean, we all know Nigerian moms. If they hear that kind of news, the first thing is to lose their hair tie and stand up and start shouting. But Victor's mom was just sitting down quietly. I don't think Funke Adewoye really connected to her role as Victor's mom in this movie. I think she didn't really understand the script or understand the storyline. The blame also should rest on the director for not making her understand what she was doing on set. She's a good actor. She has the potential to be a good actor. She has the potential, but I think she really needs to work on herself and work on some acting skills. I can see potential in Funke Adewoye, but I think she needs to do more. They didn't really connect as husband and wife. You couldn't really see that this is a husband, this is a wife. Even though they were fighting, they were not in peace. I still felt a vacuum in their connection or connecting together as husband and wife. All right, next thing was that, okay, Matilda didn't look like a church worker. At some point, it felt like this is not a church worker. I felt they should have toned down her costuming and her makeup. They should have toned it down a bit so that she doesn't look too glamorous. I mean, we all know how church workers should look. They didn't really embody, some of the church workers in the movie, they didn't really embody the character of church workers. Next thing was that the sound design was not properly done. You could see casts. Some of the cast members were far away, were meters away, maybe when it was a long shot, and then they talk and then you are hearing everything so clear as if they are close. That didn't work. I mean, when they are far, at least let it not be so loud and clear as if they are in front or directly close. That didn't work for me. All right, next thing was that in the inhalation scene, when Ray tried to put his handkerchief on Matilda's face so she can inhale that thing and then slip off and then he could rape her, she collected the handkerchief from his hand and then put it on his own face and he inhaled it and then he died. And then he fainted. That is unrealistic. I mean, Ray is a smart guy. If she peradventure collects that handkerchief from his hands and puts it on his face, Ray is not going to inhale that thing. He's going to push it off or beat it off his face because he's a smart guy. He's a sharp guy. He won't fall for that cheap stunts. Ray is smarter than that. That made the whole thing unrealistic. Maybe they should have made it in another way. Maybe if they wanted Ray to go unconscious, they should have done it in another way, in a better way, not as it was done. Some actors kept on peeping at the camera as if they were not comfortable with the camera, with acting in front of the camera. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is all I'm able to gather for the movie The Seed. Go check it out and then let me know your thoughts in the comment section. At last, I'll be rating this movie a 7.5 over 5. Bye for now. Catch you all later in the next one.